أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh everyone. We thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for bringing us together here today again. On behalf of MBF Chairman, Brother Abdul Kabir, I welcome all of you to today's session. This is one of the initiatives that actually came out from our recent MBF, and we are very happy to have these discussions on SBA resources every small business owner should know. So now just kind of give an overview of what we should expect from today's session, inshallah. Whether you are just starting your business or you are looking to take it to the next level. Today's session is very packed with valuable insights. And of course, we are excited to be joined by Elizabeth from the SBA Houston District Office, who, of course, she would share an overview of the four main areas of services the SBA provides to small business owners, as well as to introduce us to key resource partners and guide us through navigating the SBA Houston website. And for those of you who might ask, what does SBA mean? Of course, SBA is the Small Business, can someone tell me? Administration, right? So thank you so much again for joining us. And inshallah, without further delay, I will invite Elizabeth to pretty much get us started. Jazakallah khair. Over to you, Elizabeth.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for having me today. I'm so excited to be able to present to you on the U.S. Small Business Administration. And so before we get started, I do want to go ahead and I'm putting in my contact information into the chat in case that you have any questions later on. Most of your questions will be answered today, so we definitely will try to get those questions answered. Before we get started, I do want to note that this presentation is being hosted on November 20th, 2024. So this information that you're hearing today is as of this date. SBA's participation is not an endorsement of the views, opinions, products, or services of any other person or entity, and all SBA programs are extended to the public on a non-discriminatory basis. Things to note, the chat is open for your convenience. So if you have questions throughout the presentation, we will have time for Q&A, but I do want to reiterate that go ahead and put those questions into the chat so we can try to get those answered. You will receive a copy of today's slide deck that, yes, will include my contact information for you just in case you have any questions following today's presentation. Today's agenda, as mentioned earlier, we're going to go over the 4 C's of the Small Business Administration. We're going to go into a little bit of understanding about the website that we have for our Houston District Office so that you can kind of understand how to navigate some of these resources. And then, of course, we're going to have time for the question and answer portion. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and get started. Small Business Administration, we are a federal agency and we were founded in 1953, and our mission is to help Americans achieve the dream of small business ownership. And so we do this in various ways. We help you start, grow, expand, and recover. This is what we call our roadmap to success. Today, I am here representing the SBA's Houston District Office. There are 68 district offices all across the United States, but our Houston District Office covers the 32 counties that surround Houston. So that's everywhere from Washington County all the way to the Louisiana state line and everywhere in between. If you are in this area, then we are your local district office. If you are not in this area and you are outside of this area, we'll show you where you can find your local district office and local resource partners. So one of the first questions that we always like to get out of the way is what is considered a small business? And we do have a size standards tool on our website at sba.gov/size-standards that tells you. But typically, it's going to be the number of employees or the amount of annual revenues that your business has that's going to determine whether or not you are considered small in the eyes of the SBA. Just a few examples, if you're a manufacturing processing firm with 1,500 employees, you could still be considered small. If you're a service firm, with $47 million in annual revenues, you could still be considered small. So there's not a one size fits all. It really is dependent on the number of employees and the amount of annual revenues. If you go to the size standards tool, you'll actually be able to input some information, and then it will be able to tell you. I will caveat that by saying most of the businesses that are on our calls are considered small in the eyes of the Small Business Administration. So just letting you know. The 4 C's of the SBA. So we actually help in various facets. This is how we help small businesses in getting started and growing and expanding. We help with what we call the 4 C's. And so that's counseling, capital, contracting, and crisis. And so we're going to go into a little bit of detail about what this means for you so that you can understand what these different components are. So first, we're going to start with counseling. So counseling is actually done through our SBA Resource Partner Network. So if you call our office and you're trying to get one-on-one business counseling, we are going to refer you to our SBA Resource Partner Network. They are the boots in the ground that do the one-on-one business counseling that is at no cost to you. What does that mean? That means you do not pay for the business counseling to be able to move forward in starting, growing, or expanding your business. They are approved and funded by the Small Business Administration to be those boots on the ground to help you in finding out the different answers to the questions that you might have. There are over 1,400 plus partner offices nationwide. And we do have a local assistance tool on our website that helps you in being able to find the local resource partners that are available to you. So you would put in your zip code, and in there you would pop up a list of the different resource partners that are available to you. Our Houston district office will always pop up first, or your local district office will always pop up first. And then under that, you'll find the different resource partners that are available to you. And so we want to kind of reiterate who those resource partners are here in this area. So the SBA resource partner contact information is also included in this slide deck. These are the local SBA Houston resource partners. So we have the Texas Gulf Coast Small Business Development Center, which is better known as the SBDC. And so SBDC has 13 locations across Houston. So you would also, once again, be able to refer back to that local assistance tool, put in your zip code, and find the resource center that's nearest you. We also have SCORE Houston. So SCORE Houston, they all, once again, offer free one-on-one business counseling, but SCORE Houston is retired executives who have been there and done that. So most often they've either owned that business before, they have expertise in that business, they've worked for a business that has that particular area of expertise. So if you're looking for example, tax planning, or you're looking for information on marketing, or you're looking for information on funding or real estate, their website actually has a list of those different areas of expertise and the different mentors that would be able to help you in being able to understand those business questions specifically. We also have 2 women's business centers in the area, one that's co-located out of the Women's Business Enterprise Alliance, and then one that is out of the Greater Houston Women's Chamber of Commerce. This is specific to women entrepreneurs. They do also assist men, so if you are a male and you're looking for assistance and they're your closest resource partner, feel free to reach out. They will be happy to help you, but their main focus is women entrepreneurs. And so we also have a Veterans Business Outreach Center. So while they're not physically located here in Houston, they do cover the Houston area. Once again, all of these resource partners are there to be able to counsel and train small businesses to be able to start, grow, expand, recover, sell, exit. I mean, you fill in the blank. They can probably help you in your small business. So they are required to have appointments set up. So if you are looking to do that one-on-one business counseling, we highly encourage you to reach out to one of these resource partners, schedule an appointment, and sit down with them one-on-one to be able to discuss your small business questions. So next we're going to talk a little bit about the C that a lot of people actually know us for, which is capital. So the SBA works with approved lenders to offer microloans and SBA backed loans that are startup friendly, have competitive terms, lower down payments, longer maturities, and lower risks to the lending institution. So I always like to talk about this because in here, it's important for you to understand that the Small Business Administration does not lend directly to you as the borrower. We actually guarantee that loan on the back end for those lending institutions so that it can lower the risk and they're more likely to lend to you. That's very important to note because a lot of people will come to us and be like, well, where do I fill out the application? And it's a little bit more lengthy than that. You want to typically meet with a resource partner so you can get all your ducks in a row, such as your business plan, your financial projections, and any other documentation that a lending institution will require from you. So that's always important to note. Our resource partners are there to be able to help you through that process. They're there to be able to assist you in understanding how to be able to obtain that financing. So we do have various different types of loan programs. We have a micro loan program, which is anything under $50,000. We have a 7A loan program, which is typically for working capital. And then we have a 504 loan program, which is typically for owner-occupied land, meaning, let's say, for example, you're trying to open up a restaurant and your restaurant is going to be housed out of that facility, then a 504 may be able to be eligible for you to be able to do that build out. Right. So I'm not going to go into too much detail about our access to capital programs, but I would encourage you that if this is something that you are interested in doing, that you sign up for our email updates because we do have a lot of events that come up specifically on this topic where we dive a lot deeper. We sometimes have events such as Meet the Lender panel discussions where you can hear directly from lending institutions. We have lender matchmaking events where you could actually go and meet one-on-one with different lenders in the area who may be able to lend on your project depending on what you're trying to do. So signing up for our email updates, you'll get all of these workshops straight to your email so that way you can sign up for them if that's something that you're interested in pursuing later on down the line. And as I go through the live demonstration, I'll show you where you can find all this information on our website in case that any one of these topics is something you're interested in pursuing in further detail. All right. So I also want to reiterate that the SBA guaranteed loans can help you when you're starting or expanding your business. They can be helpful for working capital for operating expenses, whether you're trying to purchase or renovate the facility that your business is going to be located in, whether you're trying to purchase inventory, equipment, or machinery. You're purchasing land in a building that your business is going to be located in. I keep saying this because we want to reiterate that we don't do real estate investment. So if you're looking to, for example, get an SBA guaranteed loan to do Airbnbs or flip houses, we do not lend in that arena. So that's very important to note that it does have to be owner occupied. That's why I always give the example of a restaurant because typically that restaurant is going to be housed in that building. Other examples can be like fitness centers and things of that nature. These are 5 ways that you can find an SBA approved lender here in Houston. So once again, if you're located outside of that 32 county district, this may not be fully applicable to you, but we do want to reiterate that if you are in the Houston area or those 32 counties that surround Houston, that these would be 5 ways that you could find an SBA approved lender. We do have monthly lender activity reports on our website. We have a list of Houston local lenders, which I will also show you during our website demonstration. And then you can attend a lending event, as I had mentioned earlier, or you can work with our resource partners, and that would be helpful for you to be able to understand the different lending institutions that are available, but also they can help with those business plan financials and loan packages and help you in perfecting your pitch. We also have an SBA lender match tool that's available on our website where you can put in your information and they will send you the lenders that would be interested in being able to do that specific type of project. And so this is what that looks like so that you can be able to understand. On the Lender Match website, you will find the information on how to prepare before you actually go into that. And this is not a loan application. That's very important to note. We get a lot of people who call us and they're like, I submitted my loan application on the website. And it's like, well, no, you didn't. That's Lender Match. It's not a loan application. So very important to note. And so it's important One of the questions in the chat is what factors like credit score and credit history affect access to the loans. That's why it's important to meet with a resource partner, because they're going to help you in understanding the different facets of what is important when you are actually trying to access capital through SBA lending. So once again, I'm here representing the Small Business Administration. I can't reference other loan programs that are applicable, but what I will say is if you are trying to obtain SBA funding, you will require your personal credit score, and that credit history will come into play. We can't really tell you what factors, because it's going to be a case-by-case basis. It's really dependent on that small business and what they're trying to do. So there are various factors that come into play, and that's why we recommend that you attend one of our access to capital events, where we talk specifically on those different programs and specifically on what is necessary for you to be able to obtain capital through the Small Business Administration. So next, we're going to talk about federal contracting. And so this is actually a topic that if you're in business and you're looking to start or grow that, if you're looking to grow that business even further, we talk about different facets of your markets. So for example, if you're in business, typically you do either B2C, which is business to consumer, you do B2B, which is business to business, or you do B2G. So B2G is business to government. And so there are local, which is, for example, the city, maybe the county. There are state, which is the state of Texas. And then there's federal contracting. Today, I'm representing the federal side of the house. So I'll talk to you about what that means, but I'll also reiterate some stuff on the local and state levels as well, so that you can kind of understand. So in case you didn't know, the world's largest customer buying all kinds of goods and services is the federal government, and we are required by law to provide contract opportunities to small businesses. And so if you're looking to do federal contracting, you can always visit our website and evaluate your readiness by visiting sba.gov/contracting. On there, we do have an assessment that you can do to see whether or not you would be able to move forward in going through the federal contracting side of the house. Now, we also have eligibility for you to be able to be certified through the Small Business Administration. The very first thing that I'm going to say is our certifications are at no cost to you. So if you are trying to get certified for your business and you're being charged to do that, please don't pay for that. We will explain to you here shortly a resource that you can use to be able to go and start that certification process, and then they can help you in being able to move forward. But on the Small Business Administration side, our programs include our 8A Business Development Program, our Historically Underutilized Business Zone or HUB Zone program. This should not be confused with the HUB certification through the state of Texas. Those are two separate things, okay? Our women-owned small business programs, which are our WASB or our ED-WASB, which is the economically disadvantaged women-owned small business. We also have a veteran-owned small business program, VOSB, or a SDVOSB, which is a service disabled veteran-owned small business program. And so it's important to note that there are several agencies, several on the local, state, and federal levels that have their own certification programs. Today, I am talking about the Small Business Administration certification programs. We get calls daily about MBE, which is Minority Business Enterprise, or a WBE, which is a Women's Business Enterprise, or fill in the blank of any other certification that is available. However, these are the certifications that are available through the Small Business Administration, so that's very important to note. To learn more and to determine your eligibility, we actually have a new one-stop shop called certifications.sba.gov. This just launched. So it's important to note that this is a one-stop shop. In the past, you used to have to do different certification processes in different areas. Now you can go to this one centralized location and be able to fill out any certification that you would be eligible for through the Small Business Administration. it's a really great website that has a lot of information on eligibility, on resources, on frequently asked questions, things that you need to know when going through this certification process so that you can be able to move forward with our Small Business Administration certifications. And as mentioned, there is a resource partner. Remember earlier we talked about general resource counseling, right? Those general business counselors, such as the Small Business Development Center, SCORE, our women's business centers, they can help with general information. You're trying to start your business, grow your business, you're trying to create a marketing plan, a business plan, whatever the case may be. This resource partner, Apex Accelerator, for those of you who have been in business a while, you may have known them as the Procurement Technical Assistance Center, or PTAC. They are specific to procurement. So what does that mean? So they're there to determine if your business is ready to do federal contracting. They are there to be able to help you register in the proper places to get involved in the government marketplace. You will have to create a SAM account. You will have to have specific numbers that you need. You're going to have specific accounting systems. They're going to make sure that you're there and you're available to get involved in the government marketplace. And they will be able to see if you're eligible for any certifications, whether on the local, state, or federal levels, so that you can be able to better compete for these opportunities. It is very important to note that if you are not in business, this is not the resource partner for you. If you are in business, they do have some eligibility requirements on their website for you to be able to check whether you would be eligible to be a client of Apex. So please look at those eligibility requirements prior to reaching out to this particular resource partner. All of the other resource partners that we mentioned earlier do not have an eligibility requirement, but this one does. So it's important to note that. All right. And so last but certainly not least is the topic that everyone loves to talk about. And of course, I'm kidding. It's disasters. So the last C is crisis, and disasters do happen. We know it's not a matter of if, but when. We live in Houston, and so we literally just went through Hurricane Beryl. And so these things do happen. In case that you didn't know, 40% of all businesses that close after a disaster never reopen. And this number might actually be increased. This is from the National Flood Insurance Program, so that might be higher now. But businesses can protect themselves with an up-to-date plan of action. So we want you to know that at sba.gov/prepare, you can prepare your business. In fact, we just launched a business resilience guide that gives tips and recommendations for you to be able to make sure that your business is being as resilient as possible, regardless of the disaster that occurs. So very important to note. And then also, SBA does provide SBA disaster assistance loans that are available. Each year, the small business provides billions of dollars in low interest, long-term disaster loans to help small businesses, homeowners, and renters recover from declared disasters. So this is the one instance that the Small Business Administration does lend directly to the borrower, and this is the one instance that we help outside of the small business arena, meaning we help homeowners and renters recover from declared disasters as well. The caveat here is that they have to be declared disasters. So how will you know if they're declared? Well, we have on our website a declared disasters list. And so, for example, at this current moment in time, we're still accepting applications for those small businesses, homeowners, and just small businesses. The homeowners and renters deadline has passed. But for small businesses that had economic injury due to Hurricane Beryl may be eligible to apply for a disaster loan. So that declared disaster is still up and is still accepting applications until April of 2025. So if your business was affected by Hurricane Beryl and you had economic injury because of Hurricane Beryl, that may be something that you want to consider looking into. And I want to go ahead and touch base on a couple of other aspects. that we want small businesses to know is if you're in business and you've been in business for 3 years, you have at least $250,000 of annual revenue, and you are not a sole proprietor, you're not a solopreneur, you have one or more employees, then you may be eligible to participate in our SBA Thrive Emerging Leaders Program. And so if that's something of interest, then SBA thrive.com is where you would want to go. And this is so that for those businesses that are ready to take their business to the next level. This is an entrepreneurial training program. It is a 6-month program, and it includes in walking through online trainings while also attending in-person sessions. And it's for those small businesses that are looking to improve their business impact and performance and get expert help scaling their business. So if this is something that sounds like you and you're interested in pursuing it, our application processes will be coming up in the next couple of months. I believe April, I might be mistaken on that, but on SBAthrive.com, you can actually go in there and be added to their newsletter. So that way we can be able to send you the information of when those applications launch. Our graduation for this cohort is actually happening in December. So I believe at the end of the first quarter, at the beginning of the second quarter, we will be accepting applications for our next cohort. And the reason I said nominations is because we're actually accepting nominations for our 2025 National Small Business Week Awards. And that deadline is coming up in December, at the beginning of December. We host webinars on how to be able to nominate a business, but the main criteria is you have to have been in business for 3 years and you had to have received some type of SBA assistance. So if you've ever received a loan through SBA, you've met with any one of our resource partners, you've gone through any one of our programs, then you may be eligible to submit a nomination for National Small Business Week Awards. And so we're accepting those nominations. If you're interested in learning more, you can always visit sba.gov/NSBW, which stands for National Small Business Week. All right. So that is an overview of the Small Business Administration. I know it's a lot, but you will receive a copy of the slide deck for your convenience. And so one of the things that I want to do now is introduce our SBA Houston District Office website. So I want to caveat this by saying there is a SBA.gov website that is the national website that covers any district office, that covers all of the small business information you need to know. But each district office has its own website, and that's what we will be covering today, because I want you guys to see your local district office and what you can find on our website specifically. All right. So on the SBA website, one of the things I always like to joke about is we are not open 24/7, but our website is. And so if you find yourself up at 2 in the morning and you're trying to figure out how to be able to grow your business, our website is there for you. So you can feel free to visit our website any time of the day. And this will help you in being able to understand the no-cost source of information to help your small business start, grow, expand, recover. And then there's also several different topics that are on our website that can help you in starting and managing your business. We do have our learning center, and as mentioned earlier, we have our lender match tool as well. So I am going to go ahead and share my screen so that you guys can see our Houston District Office website. I am going to put that into the chat in case that you want to follow along with me. All right, and so I'm going to share with you our district office website. Okay, y'all. So the way that you're going to know that you're on our district office website is because in huge letters it says Houston District. All right. And so somebody in the chat asked, what are the step-by-step guides on winning a government contract? So I will show you some of the resources that you can find on our website, and I'll be sure to include that Sharaf. I want to make sure I'm saying that correctly. So that way you can see where you can find that information for yourself. All right. So I'm going to go over the layout really quickly, and then I'll show you where you can find the other things. So Houston District Office website, here it's going to show you where our office is located and all the different counties that we cover. All right. It'll have the information on National Small Business Week Award nominations so that you can see. Here is a wonderful button that nobody ever presses on, but we're going to go into here shortly so that you can see what wonderful nuggets of wisdom are in there so that you can be able to make sure that you are one of those small businesses that do click on that website. All right. And then we also have all of our upcoming events. I'll also go through some of those as well for some of the questions I've been seeing in the chat, so that way you can make sure you get those questions answered. But if you don't want to have to go to our website every single day or every single week to figure out what we're doing, just sign up for our email updates. All you have to give us is your email and your zip code, and you'll be signed up for your local district office so that you can be able to get that information straight to your fingertips. All right. We also have success stories. So it's important to note that if you are a small business and you're doing great things and you've received SBA assistance, this is where you will find some of those success stories. So things to be able to look at and be able to motivate you as a small business owner. All right. So I'm going to go right back up to the top, because I want to show you this before we actually move forward into the doing business in the Houston area, Houston lender list, and our upcoming events. All right. So every website that SBA has will always have this at the top where it says an official website of the United States government. I want to reiterate that because we get countless calls of people who think that they are on our website and they are not. All right. So it's important to note that it will always have that caveat at the top. All right. Also, here you'll find different aspects for your business, such as our business guide, funding programs, federal contracting, learning platform, local assistance, and more. All right. It's important for you to note these all have drop downs. So if you find yourself, and I always say 2 in the morning, but if you find yourself at 1 in the morning, whatever time you find yourself, right? And you want to be on our website and learn a little bit more, start with the Explore Our Business Guide section. That's a really great way to be able to help you in knowing whether you're in that planning phase, you're in that launching phase, you're in the managing phase, or you're looking to grow your business. There is so many nuggets of wisdom in this website that can help you in being able to do just that. If you have small business questions, a lot of the times they can be answered through this website. And that's so important to note because we also get countless calls of people who are like, I've been on Google for so many hours and there's so much information out there. Where do I even get started? And we will always recommend that you get started on our website, which will have most of the information that you need. All right. Funding programs. Remember we talked about those funding programs, but I said I'm not going to go into too much detail. Well, here's where you can find additional detail. All right. If you're looking for loan programs, there's where you'll find your 7A, your 504, your microloan, that lender match tool. All right. If you're looking for investment capital, you can go in and find SBIC directory to find out more information on investment capital. Disaster assistance, right? You're looking for physical damage loans, economic injury disaster loans, or specific recovery centers. This is where you can find that information. Surety bonding, maybe you're doing some contracting and you're needing some surety bonding. This is where you can find out additional information on surety bonding. And then, of course, grants, which is that state trade expansion program grant, and then grants for community organizations. I do want to caveat this by saying that we do not have grant programs to start or grow your business. That is the number one, if not the number one question, maybe the number 2 question that we always get. So we do not have grant programs to start or grow businesses. However, there is some information in case that you're looking to do expansion in terms of international trade. All right. So federal contracting. One of the questions was, what are the step-by-step guides on winning a government contract? Well, we do have our contracting guide here. If you go to federal contracting guide, here you're going to have assess your business, basic requirements. Oh, how to win contracts. You can click on that, find out more information, types of contracts that are available. Remember that size standards tool we were talking about? This is where you would be able to find that, and then so much more. We also have all of the information on our contracting assistance programs that we had talked about earlier as well. And then of course, where you can find counseling and help in case that you're interested in learning more. The learning platform, this is also a really great way to continue your learning process. So my SBA learning is now a one-stop shop as well for you to be able to do different courses and different things that you want to learn more about your business. Maybe you're trying to create a marketing plan. Maybe you're trying to understand how to do financial statements. The Learning Center is a really great way to be able to do that so that you can be able to understand more. But of course, our resource partners are also always there for you to be able to help with that. We do have a Boots to Business reboot program, a Boots to Business program for veteran and veteran spouses who are interested in taking entrepreneurial training program. This is typically a 1 to 2 day program that can help them in being able to go through all the facets of their business in that one day. We have our Thriving Emerging Leaders program, which I'm not going to talk about because we already discussed a little bit, and then our Empower to Grow program. So if you are looking to do government contracting, Empower to Grow is a really great learning tool as well because it can help you in understanding other facets of government contracting, and those are particular training programs for contracting. Now, local assistance, this is where you can find your local assistance tool, and I'm actually going to open this in a separate tab so that way we can go over what that looks like as well. But if you're looking for more information on any one of our resource partners or any one of our expert and trade assistance programs and more, here's where you're going to find all of your local resources. So I wanted to touch base on those because that's important for you to know that those things are available to you. No cost. You can go on whenever you need to be able to move forward with that process. Now, what I do want to reiterate is the doing business in our area. I've actually opened it up in a separate tab. And when you do that, you'll actually pop into this area. This will provide you some information on business name and registration. We get a lot of questions on licensing and zoning. So here is where you can find information on that. Taxes, health and safety, and so much more. All right. This will open up to our local assistance tool, which I'll show you here momentarily. And then I also wanted to reiterate this SBA lending in our area. So remember earlier we had talked about the SBA lending programs. You can find it where I had shown you before under the funding side. However, here is where you can also find the list of the local lenders in Houston. So if you want to download that list, it'll actually pop up into a secondary tab. And when you pop up in the secondary tab, you can actually download that as a PDF, and it'll have a list of the SBA Houston guaranteed lenders in our area. This is effective as of June 1st, 2024. Always look at this date because that'll help you in understanding when it was last updated. So if we do get any new lenders, that will be updated accordingly. It'll provide you the contact information for all of the lenders in the Houston area. All right. Now, one of the things I'm going to go back to is coming here where we talked about our upcoming events. Our SBA Houston District Office covers a ton of different events on a ton of different topics. Okay, so this is where you would find it. I've opened it up in a secondary tab as well. And the reason I like to open it up in a secondary tab is because I want you to see how many events you can attend at no cost. All right, on so many different topics. All right, so if you're looking to submit a National Small Business Week Award nomination, visit us tomorrow. If you're looking for tips to prepare for Small Business Saturday, also tomorrow, we have information on cyber strategies, starting a business at age 50 or plus. Maybe you're trying to get into government contracting. We talked about that government contracting, and then that's the Meet the Buyer Procurement Forum that is available. There's also a ton of other events. This is for the Houston district office. You can always filter this by any district office that you wish, and you can always say, hey, I want that to be online only. So that way, maybe you can attend another district office's event if that is something that you would be able to see for you to be able to, help your business start or grow. All right. And then last but certainly not least is that local assistance tool. So this is where you can find your help in being able to get local assistance near you. So if you click here, you would be able to put in your business zip code and search nearby. There it'll pop up a list of all of the resource partners that are located near you that can help you in starting or growing your business. So I just want to reiterate that overall, this is always a great tool to be able to have so that you can be able to learn more about the programs that are available to you at no cost. So with that being said, in the chat box, I want to hear from you. Which of these resources did you find most helpful? Maybe you didn't know about them. What are some of the action items that y'all are going to take after you have learned about all these small business resources? I want to hear from you guys, but I also want to reiterate, you're not alone. So our Houston district office is here to help you. We might not always know the answer, but we will always try to point you in the right direction. So if you don't know where to start, feel free to send our office an email. Feel free to call us and be able to get that information. We'll be able to email you back and let you know, like, hey, this is where you can start. This is where that conversation can lead, or we may ask for additional information to be able to better help you. Subscribe to our email updates. That's where we send a lot of information on getting certified, on business loan programs, on any updates that our office has. And then also, of course, if you are on X or Twitter, I don't know, whichever one you want to call it, or on LinkedIn, we have our local district office that is on both of those. So a lot of the times people will tag the Small Business Administration, which is headquarters, but we have our local office. So if you want to be friends with us, we're at SBA Houston, so feel free to look at those as well. So I want to take this time to answer any of the questions that you guys might have, so that way we can be able to better assist you. If I don't know the answer, I will tell you to reach out to me separately so we can make sure we try to get you the answer to those questions.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Elizabeth, for that impactful overview. Very insightful. I think a couple of questions that came from the chat here. You've answered most of them, but I do have at least two that probably missed. One here is if the upper end of the size is about 1,500, what is the lower end of the size?
So typically anything, and I'm going to assume that this is referring to size standards because I believe that that's when that came in.
Yes.
So when we talk about the size standards, as mentioned, we highly recommend that you go to our size standards tool and just fill out that information for you to be able to know what you would fall under. Typically, most small businesses are going to fall under small business side of the house. You'll know if you're a small business. But typically it's anything under 500 employees. But as you can tell, that 1,500 employee threshold mark is something that is still considered small because of the industry that it's in. So it's really industry specific. As mentioned on that size standards tool, it's going to ask you your industry. The way you're going to know the industry that you're in is if you're already in business on your taxes, it should have that industry code, that NICS code. If you don't have that, just start typing in and it'll actually have where you can be able to see what type of industry you're in. And then it'll ask your number of employees and then it'll tell you whether you're considered small or not in terms of the SBA.
Perfect. Another question here is, are the certifications required to secure any contract?
So the certifications are not a requirement. However, they are a good to have. So whenever you're looking at government contracts, and once again, I'm speaking on the federal level, on the local and the state levels, you may want to look at the city of Houston or look at the state of Texas and see what their requirements are. There will be specific contracts that will require a certification. And so those are typically for set aside programs where they're saying this is set aside for women-owned small businesses. And so if you're not certified, then you wouldn't be able to try to bid on that contract. However, if it doesn't have any of those requirements, then no, you wouldn't need a certification.
Perfect. So someone asked this question, is there any chance of getting an interest-free loan?
On the side of the Small Business Administration, no. However, that's why we always recommend that you reach out to an SBA resource partner. Those resource partners, what they do is they're going to help you in understanding the different funding options that are available to you. So I typically like to let small businesses know that if you are looking for any program that's outside of the small business arena, these small business resource partners may know of additional funding programs that might be available. So a lot of the time, I know you had mentioned grants might be available or might be an available option. As mentioned, the Small Business Administration does not currently have grant programs to start or grow a business. However, reaching out to, for example, if you're a woman entrepreneur and you reach out to one of the women's business centers, if there is a grant program that is out there specifically for women entrepreneurs, chances are they're going to know about it, right? Or if there are loan programs that have an interest-free for a certain amount of time, they're going to know about it. But under the SBA umbrella, no.
Okay. I think the final question here is, as a business owner, are there any chance to partner with an existing businesses in order to execute those contracts?
Yes. So you can come in as a subcontractor under a prime. And so that's why I always recommend coming to one of our events for federal contracting. So, and I want to make sure that that is an event that's coming up. I am under the impression that we have one coming up in December. So give me 1 second and I can definitely put that information into the chat. Yes, we do. So December 13th, we actually have a Federal Contracting Fridays event. That Federal Contracting Fridays event kind of answers all the different types of questions in terms of federal contracting, local support resources, live demonstrations of widely utilized websites. That's actually being hosted by our lead business opportunity specialist, and he answers a lot of those questions. It's an interactive event. It's not I'm going to show you the PowerPoint presentation. It's you got questions, bring those questions in. We can show you how to be able to maneuver through those processes. Short answer is yes. Long answer is there are specific requirements to be able to do that, and there are specific processes. So that's where we would recommend either one, and a lot of the answers are going to be, we recommend you reaching out to our resource partner network to be able to see how to be able to do that.
Okay. Another question here is, does the SBA or can the SBA facilitate a couple of technical trainings for sole proprietorship?
I'm not sure what they're referring to. If you can give me a little bit more insight on what you're referring to in that, because when it comes to technical assistance, we're typically going to recommend that you go to a resource partner for specific questions. So for example, if you're trying to create your financial projections, you're trying to create your business plan, you're trying to understand more, then we would recommend go to a resource partner or go to one of their workshops or webinars that they have, because they're going to go deeper into those types of subjects. And they're the ones that do the boots on the ground, one-on-one business counseling. So if I'm understanding you correctly, they're the ones that are going to do that. Oh, okay, I see. They said IT related trainings. We have a lot of events on terms of cybersecurity. We don't typically get industry specific on the Small Business Administration side. There are specific, for example, in terms of IT, I would say maybe reaching out to SCORE Houston. SCORE Houston, you could go onto their website and find mentors that have expertise in IT who may be able to help you with some of those questions that you have. And that's related to any industry. So if you have any industry specific questions, SCORE Houston is a really great resource for you to reach out to, because you can actually narrow down by area of expertise, and that can help you in being able to facilitate those questions that you might have. And if you don't mind, do you want me to go ahead and show you how you can do that?
If you can, please.
Yeah, of course. Give me one second. I'm
Thank
like, I'm already here, you know? Let's
That will be
let's show
valuable.
you. So
Okay.
SCORE Houston, this is their website. It's score.org/Houston. So I'm going to put that into the chat as well. Once again, this will also be in that PowerPoint slide deck that I send over so that you guys can have. But here's where you're going to find local workshops, right? If you need them, but most importantly, local mentors. So let's look at local mentors so that you can see how to be able to facilitate that. Once again, this is going to be for Houston. If you're coming from another area, you can always press on this little button, the plus sign, and put in your zip code, and it'll pop up mentors that are located near you. All right. So here you can either have them choose the mentor for you, or you can choose the mentor. It's completely up to you. It's going to tell you the step-by-step process of like what goes into finding the mentor and how to be able to set up an appointment with them. But let's say that I'm going to choose the mentor. And then in here, you're going to scroll down and you'll see where it says Houston. I typically like to put less than 50 miles because that's going to help us in being able to find a little bit more mentors. But there, you can narrow down by area of expertise. So there's so many various areas of expertise. Maybe you have questions on advertising, bookkeeping, budgeting. I mean, the list goes on and on, as you can tell, right? But let's say that, for example, you're like, I want to get industry specific. So let's say I'm going to go to IT because that is what was put into the chat. So information technology. Here you'll find 4 results of different mentors that are in the area that can be able to assist you with those questions. And so you can actually go in and view their profile, right? And see, okay, they do email, phone, and video. Awesome. I'm actually looking for somebody in person, so this may not be the person for me. Or if you're okay with doing video call, feel free to look further into their areas of expertise. Here it'll show you the areas that they have specific areas of expertise in, or industry specific experience. So information technology is on there. Depending on what it is that you're trying to do, you may want to reach out to this mentor. You can actually request the mentor on this profile, and you can put in your information to be able to move forward in requesting a one-on-one meeting with them. So that's really a showcase of how to be able to find a SCORE mentor with specific area of expertise. But once again, any one of our resource partners can be able to help you with general small business questions that you might have.
Just to double click on the SCORE partners, this is free resource as well too, right? It's not paid.
So all of these small business resources are at no cost to you for their business counseling services. And I want to reiterate that because they might have workshops or webinars that have a nominal fee, like a small fee associated with those workshops or webinars, but it's completely up to your discretion whether you want to move forward in paying that small fee to attend that workshop. But their one-on-one business counseling is at no cost.
Awesome. And I think we have just one more final question. I think I lost it right here. How do we get certified as a disadvantaged small business?
So any types of certifications that you're looking to get into, you want to make sure that you are reaching out to the proper agency. And so, for example, disadvantaged small business would be something that you can put into your SAM profile. It's not an actual certification done through the Small Business Administration. Those questions, when it comes to certifications, can get very technical. So I always recommend that if you're looking to do government contracting, you visit our website to be able to see. I'm also going to include my answer to include the last question that I'm seeing in the chat, where is there resources to know available contracting opportunities for potential new entrances. So once again, contracting is its own ballgame. So we recommend you visit us at one of the webinars that goes directly into those topics so that you can get answers to those direct questions, and visiting our website to be able to, one, assess your business, two, look to see what are the requirements for those particular certification programs, and then three, in terms of finding contracting opportunities, those would be all in SAM.gov, which are a system of award management. And so if you aren't registered in that system yet, that's where we come back to and talk about, if you are in business and you've been foundation and you want to be able to do government contracting, maybe reaching out to Apex. They also have their own webinars and workshops specifically on topics such as how to do business with the state of Texas, how to do business with Harris County, how to do business with, I mean, fill in the blank on procurement opportunities. So that, and also the Greater Houston Business Procurement Forum, which is also an event that's coming up, and I will put that into the chat as well so that you guys can see when that is available. That's an event that is available for you to be able to see how to learn more about those contracting opportunities, for you to be able to, I keep putting finding, give me 1 second, y'all. I am trying to put the event, not the find upcoming events, but that works too. Doing business with the federal government is another event that we'll be hosting on December 12th that will talk about all of the different certification programs that we have. That's actually going to be led by our business opportunity specialist team. They're a team that is specifically well-versed on how to be able to go into the contracting opportunities. So that's important to note as well for you, so that you can be able to get your questions answered.
Sounds good. Sounds good. So 2 questions came in. I will probably want you to take note of those questions and add that to the PowerPoint slide you will share with me, Elizabeth. Does that sound good?
So I can answer those really quickly if you're okay with that.
Go for it. Let's do it.
Yeah, so are there specific contracts with people with one disability or the other? There are some on the local level. You may want to reach out. There's some, like City of Houston, I believe. You know what? I don't want to say that. I don't know for sure. We don't have a specific certification on that. However, I know that there are opportunities that are available. As mentioned, for those, reach out to me and we can put you in contact with our business opportunity specialist team. Like I said, they're the ones that are very well versed on certifications and government contracting opportunities. I don't want to give you misinformation. I know that we don't have a specific certification, but there are others that might be able to I think there is a DBE somewhere out there. I'm not sure if it's Metro or City, but our business opportunity specialist team will know. And if you send me an email, I can make sure to put you in contact with that. Does the SBA help with business registration? Sorry, y'all. Does SBA help with business registration and initial paperwork for new businesses? Once again, that's going to be through our resource partner network. You can always reach out to any one of our resource partners, schedule a one-on-one business counseling session to be able to sit down and help get registered in the proper places. Whether you're trying to file for a sole proprietorship, a limited liability company, or so on and so forth, it's really going to depend on what type of entity you're trying to start, but they can help you with the initial steps and make sure that you're prepared to move forward with those processes.
All right. Thank you so much, Elizabeth, for that. I want to give the last few minutes to our local Afropreneur, Brother Idris Bello, inshallah, to give his remarks.
Yeah, thank you very much. I want to appreciate, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Yeah, I also appreciate Elizabeth and SBA for doing this, for your support, and also making time for us. We hope this will be the first of many, right? So again, what we're trying to do with this first one is to lay the foundation for what's available with SBA, but hopefully we'll then have a couple of other ones that are more specific based on the needs that we find among our people around government contracting and the rest. So we surely will be back. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Now, everyone, Assalamu alaikum, and have a good day, inshallah.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.